Okay, we'll continue the smart card. First, we'll see smart card is one of the most used embedded system today. It is used as a credit, debit card, bank cards, ATM cards, e-purses, e-wallet cards, identification card, medical cards, and cards for a number of new innovative applications. See, you will go for the Big Bazaar. Big Bazaar, they will give the one card. In that card, it will be containing the a smart card. Whenever it is going to be connected to the system, at that time, it will give you the personal data about yourself. A smart, that is a smart card. A smart card is a plastic card in a ISO standard dimension 85.6 mm into 53.98 into 0.89 mm. This is the standard dimensions for this smart card. See, embedded system on a card will be there or a system on chip. That is a smart card. Here abstraction step is there. In the abstraction of the smart card is a plastic card of a standard dimensions. We have mentioned here the standard dimensions. These dimensions are there. The hardware is abstracted as a very small silicon chip size, just a few to protect the card during bending or a mishandling. That is a abstract view for the a smart card. Here, ISO recommended standards are ISO 7816 for a post machine contact based cards. See, ATM cards, they are the post machine contact based card. See, whenever you are going to put the ATM card, it is going to be contacting to the post machine. That is a post machine contact based cards. And the contactless cards. Some cards are not necessary to contact to the post. That system. A silicon chip is just a few in size and is concealed in between the layers. Its very small size protects the card from bending or mishandling. That everything will come under the abstraction layer. Next, this diagram shows the abstraction of the hardware and the software in the card. What are the things? The embedded hardware components are there in the systems. Here will be see one by one. The processor is compulsory. The one processor is required. That processor will be a microcontroller or the microprocessor. This is used for processing the system. Next, RAM is there. That is used for handling the temporary variables. And STAT. Next, ROM is there. It is for the applications and the RTOS. Whatever the application software is there, that is specific to the specific device, that will be stored in the ROM and related RTOS for scheduling, executing. For those things, we are going to use the ROM. Next is the EEPROM. This is used for storing the application variables. Next is the timer and the interrupt handler. Timer, it is used for the timing requirements of the system. Interrupt handler to smoothly run the system. Next, we need the 16 megahertz amplitude shift key modulator circuit for sending and receiving the signals. Next is the charge pump circuit for giving the power supply to the this transceiver antenna. Here a interface IO circuit is there. Here this one, it is interfacing to the system. Next, this is a transceiver antenna on the silicon. A small antenna will be there that will be getting the signals from the source. Then it is going to activate it and it is going to get the charge from this charge pump circuit. Here, system power supply is there. Whenever it is necessary, they will be providing that one. This is the thing. Software architecture is abstracted as consisting of the following some software components, that is the boot up, initialization and the RTOS software for the communication with the host machine. These all the software are going to be added here. Next is the extra functional properties. Any extra functional properties are necessary that we are going to be adding here. Here, extra functional things are required in the card is when it is used for bank transaction, a pin which is sort of for checking the validating the card. That pin will be there, personal identification number. See, whenever you are going to put the ATM card, it is going to ask the ATM pin. That is for identification of the particular person. Right person is there or not. These are some extra functionalities will be there. Next is a system related family design. Here in this one, credit card, debit cards belong to the same family. The card developed in the family earlier are taken into consideration during this new design. See, previously what all the things are designed, there we are going to take and further we are going to improve those things. That is a system related family of design. Next is a modular design. System designing is decomposition of the hardware and software modules. The smart card hardware is considered as a module as follows. Microcontroller based hardware, charge pumps for the power supply. Like this, we are going to be dividing the things. What all the exact software components are necessary? The boot up, initialization, and the OS programs. Smart card secure file system is necessary. Connection, establishment, and termination, communication with the host, cryptography. Why this cryptography is necessary? Because authentication is very important nowadays. See, banking related applications are they require a huge verifications. So authentication is important. So we are going to use the cryptographic techniques. Next is a host authentication, card authentication. Additional parameters are a recent new data sent by the host. These are all the things, software related components are going to be added to the system. Next, some of the smart card OS special features are there. Protected environment, every method, class, and runtime library should be scalable. Port size generated be optimal. Memory should not exceed 64 KB memory, limiting uses of specific data types, multidimensional arrays, long 64-bit integer, and floating points. Here, next in this one is a mapping. Mapping, see how the mapping is done in this uh, system for the modular design of the system is mapping of a smart card design can be done as follows. The OS with the other OS and microcontroller circuit with other microcontroller circuits for a port communication. See, next step after the abstraction is a requirement in the hardware and the software components. What all the hardware components are necessary and what all the software components are necessary. Microcontroller with the application specific units for the card, a carrier frequency 16 megahertz generating a circuit for the amplitude shift key and interfacing circuit for the IOs. Protected environment, it means software should be stored in the protected part of the ROM. Restricted runtime environment. Its OS, every method, class, and runtime library should be scalable. Code size generated should be optimum. These are all the things we are going to be checking in the mapping. See, in the next step is a specification. In that one, how we are going to take an important concept while designing the system. See, microcontroller used can be. We have to decide which type of the microcontroller we have to use in the specification. MC68HC11DO or a PCI 16C84 or a smart card processor, Philips Smart XA or a similar ASIP processor. These are the names of the processor. Which processor is required for your features? You have to decide and you have to pick any one of the processor. See, specific processor will be having the specific features. Take an example here. MC68HC11DO has a 8 KB internal RAM, 32 KB EPROM, and 2 by 3 wire protected memory. Most card used is a 8-bit CPU. These are the features of the particular microcontroller. What features are necessary for our embedded system? We have to choose those things and we have to use. I/O system and wireless communication system between chip and host interactions. These we have to check out. After that one, we have to see some special features. Protected environment. Every method, a class and runtime library should be scalable. Code size generated be optimum. Memory should not exceed 64 KB memory. Limiting use of specific data types, multidimensional arrays, long 64-bit integer and floating points. Smart card OS limiting features. These are the limiting feature. Limiting use of the error handler, exception, signal, serialization, debugging, and profiling. These are some of the limitations are there. See, in the embedded system, many limitations will be there because of the resources available for developing the embedded system. It is a cost conscious to the market. We have to see those things. Next, smart card OS file system and the classes. Three-layered file system for the data, master file to store all file headers, dedicated file to hold a file grouping and headers of the immediate successor elementary file of the group. These are the layers. First one is a master file, dedicated file, elementary file, and the classes. Master file, it stores all the headers. Dedicated file, a grouping of the files will be there, and the headers of the next successors. Elementary file, it is going to hold the file headers and some file data will be there. And it is a fixed length and variable length may be manageable. Next, classes for the network, socket, connections, datagrams, character input, output, and streaming, security management, digital certification, symmetric and asymmetric key-based cryptography, and the digital signature. These are all of the classes are necessary for developing the OS file system. See, overall we will give what is the smart card. Smart card is like a small, see, whatever the thing you will see in the ATM card, one chip will be there, no, small chip. That chip is called as a smart card. It is used for the communication from that card. It is going to be communicating and authenticating the users. See, whenever you are going to put the ATM card, it is going to contact the bank and it is going to check that you are the valid user or not. And then what it is going to do, it is going to check your balance and it is going to provide your amount like that. That facility is going to be provided for this smart card. It is going to have the processor, RAM, ROM, EEPROM, timer, and the interrupt handler, 16-bit amplitude shift key modulator circuit is there, charge pump circuit, interfacing I/O circuits. These all the hardware components are there. In the software components, it will be having the OS related software, boot up initialization OS program, smart card secure file system, connection establishment and termination, communication with the host, cryptographic software, host authentication, card authentication, some application codes. These are all the things will be added in the software components. Or if you go to know exactly how it is going to be developed, a smart card. Next we'll go for the digital camera. I hope everyone know about the digital camera. How it will be there? It will be having the one lens will be there. Through the lens, it is going to you are going to zoom in, zoom out. One small glass will be there. You are going to check in that one how the picture will look like. Afterwards, you are going to click that one. The picture will be saved in the memory of the digital camera. This is the procedure. How exactly it is going to be used. See, digital camera today it is going to have the 16 MP or a 4 MP pixel. I hope everyone knows these pixels are important. See, whenever you are going to buy any digital cameras, you are going to check the pixels. More the pixel, more the clarity of the picture. Less the pixels, less clarity. So pixels are very important. 2M or a 4M pixel, 6M or a 12M pixel still image, and clarity of the visual display, then CMOS sensor, 7M wide LCD photo display screen, enhanced image processor, double anti-blur solutions, and high-speed processing engine, 10x optical and 20x digital zooms, and can also record a high definition video clips. These all the qualities will be there in the digital camera, and it is going to have the speakers. See, whenever you are going to record the videos, it has to play that video. For that you need the speakers, and it is going to have the audio video output ports for connecting to the TV or a DVD players. These all the components will be there in the digital camera. See, based on these things, these are the things are there. So based on this one, we are going to identify hardware components as well as the software components required for designing the digital camera. See, first we will see the abstract view. Abstract means a top view for designing this digital camera. See, abstraction of the this digital camera, it is going to show some of the components: digital camera hardware components, digital camera software components. Two types will be there. First we will see one by one. First we are going to see the hardware components. In the hardware components, what are the things are necessary for input and output? We need the LCD or a touch screen for frame view. Next is the keys are necessary for moving in, out, clicking. For that, keys are necessary. Next, ADC, DAC are necessary for converting analog to digital, digital to analog. See, whatever the images will be there or anything, it will be stored in the digital form. So, whenever it will going to take, it will be in the analog format. Analog to digital conversion will be done and it will be stored. So, we need this analog to digital. And whenever you are going to send the signals, you are going to send that one from the digital to analog, and we are going to move the data from one to another. See, next is a CCD. CCD means a charge couple. The CCD processor is necessary. Next is the microcontroller is necessary. Pixel processor, microcontroller, timer, DMAC is necessary. Next is the embedded software in memory. USB port is necessary. Bluetooth, serial com, computer, printer. These are the external. If you want to connect a digital camera to the computer, printer, you can connect through this. Serial com, you are going to connect to the printer. USB ports, you are going to connect to the computers. Flash memory is necessary. These are the things are necessary for this one. See here, what are the exact components are there? We'll see. First important one is the microcontroller or application specific instructions that processor is important. Multiple processors are important, like CC, DSP is necessary, DSP. Digital signal processor is necessary, pixel processor. Some other processors are necessary for processing the image, videos. Next is the RAM is necessary. RAM is for storing the temporary variables, and the stack. ROM is for application codes and the RTO is codes for scheduling the task. Timer is used for timing requirements of the system. Next, flash memory for storing the user preferences, contact data, user date of birth, user identification code. That information will be stored in the flash memory. Next, direct memory access is important, because from that one, DMAC means direct memory access controller. Why it is important? For accessing the data. We are going to use the direct accessing the data is necessary here. Next is the LCD controller. LCD controller is for connecting the system to the LCD display. Next is the battery. Battery is very important for giving the charge. Next, we are going to see the software components. CCD display processing for the offset correction. That offset corrections are necessary. Some pixels are, if it is some pixels are missing, it is going to fill that one. For the correction, we are going to use the signal processing. Next is the memory and the file system, light, flash, and the display device drivers. These are the some software components are necessary.
here some of the internal components are how the arrangement will be there in this one. We'll see this here. Keys on the camera will be there, shutter will be there, a lens will be there, charge coupled device, CCD array, sensors will be there, a good resolution photo quality LCD display unit will be there, display text such as image, title, shooting the data, time and serial number. It displays the messages, it displays the GUI menu when user interacts with the system. That display things will be there, and self timer lamp for the flash. See, we are going to give some timer up to 2 seconds just to take a picture. We are going to set and we are going to click and come and sit in front of the camera. After 2 seconds, it will take the picture. That's self timer lamp. These are the some things are necessary. The internal units are, we have seen these all things. Next, we'll see the what are the processors are necessary here. See, we'll see LCD screen to display the frame view, saved images display using the navigation keys, a frame light fall on the CCD array. See, whenever the frame light falls on the CCD array, which through an ADC transmits the bit from each pixel in each row in the frame, and for the dark area of the pixels in each row for the offset correction in CCD signaled light intensity for each row. This will be sent. Getting? See how the picture image will be taken. Means, see, images means what? It is a collection of pixels. How it is going to do, how the corrections will be done. We'll see here. Here, that will be done with this CCD. Here, frame light. Whatever the frame light is there, that is going to fall on the CCD array. Through which, what it is going to do? It is going to, through an ADC, it is going to transmit the bits for each pixel in each row in the frame. In the frame, serial wise, it is going to send. And for the dark area pixels in each row for offset correction, it is going to send. Like this, it is going to get the data of the picture. CCD bits for each pixel in each row and column are offset corrected by the CCD signal processor. See, this DSP is there, no? For through this one, it is going to be offset corrected and it is going to be added. Next is the ASIP and the signal processor. For a signal compression using the JPEG codec, coder to decoder. That JPEG, that coding and decoding is there. Through that one, there is the compressing the signal and saved in one JPEG file for each frame. For DSP, for compression using the discrete cosine transformation and decompression. Through this one, it is going to do the compression. Next, DCT for DCT Hoffman coding for the JPEG compression, it is going to be using for decompression by inverse DCT before the DAC sends the input for display unit through pixel processor. Before sending the data, it is going to convert from that inverse DCT and it is going to send the data to the ADC, then it is going to send the data to the pixel. Once again, the picture image will be shown on the screen. See, first you are going to save the picture in your memory card. From the memory card, how you are going to access? Through the inverse DCT. Through the inverse DCT, you are going to convert the digital to the, once again, analog, and it is going to send it to the pixel processor. That pixel processor is going to show the image on the LCD screen. The pixel processor, for example, image contrast, brightness, rotation, translation, color adjustment. For these all things will be done with this pixel processor. Next is the digital camera hardware units. What are the hardware components are there? Microcontroller, ASIP will be there. multiple processors, CC, DSP, pixel processors, RAM, ROM, will be there, timer. These are the components. You have seen this. Same things will be there here. Next is display camera software components are there. CCD signal processing for offset correction. This software is necessary. JPEG coding, JPEG decoding, pixel processing before display, memory and the file system, light, flash and the display device drivers, LCD, USB, and the Bluetooth port device drivers for the port operations for display, printer, and computer communication controls. These are all the software components built there in the digital camera. These are the components you have to decide while developing a digital camera. You have to take into consideration light, flash, and the display device driver, CCD signal processor, JPEG coding, JPEG decoding, pixel processing, LCD and USB port device drivers, LCD Bluetooth COM and USB port device drivers. See, the LCD, the USB port, that devices will be separate and device drivers are separate. So drivers are will be in the software. See, previously if you want to connect your mobile to the laptop, what you are going to do? You have to install one driver to the your system. Then only you are going to be able to connect your mobile to the computer system. Same way, that whatever the software is there on that software is called as a mobile driver. Similar way here, for if you want to connect a LCD USB ports, we have to install the device drivers. LCD driver should be there, USB port driver should be there. But then only it able to communicate with the system. That is the device drivers. US, LCD, Bluetooth, COM, and USB port device drivers. These all the drivers are necessary. Next, classification of the embedded system. This completes your examples of the embedded system. See, what are the examples you have seen? First one is the automatic chocolate vending machine, smart car, and the digital camera. See, in this, what they will ask you to explain the hardware and software components of the embedded system. See, almost all the devices will be have the examples are going to have the same hardware components, microprocessor or ASIP. Next is the RAM will be there. RAM is for storing the temporary variables, and stack ROM is for storing the application codes, and the RTOS for scheduling the tasks. Timer, interrupt handler will be there. This battery or a power supply, these all of the common features are there. The additional features based on the devices will be there. You have to add on, go on adding those things. Next is the software component. Software component will be based on the devices. Which example you are developing, then they are based on that one it will be adding. Next we'll see for the go for the classification of the embedded system. Previously we have seen that one. Classification of the embedded system is small scale embedded system, medium scale embedded system, and sophisticated embedded systems. First we'll see the small scale embedded system. Small scale means a small things will be there here. It is designed with a single 8-bit or 16-bit microcontroller, little hardware and the software complexities, and involve a board level designing will be there. Tools for development of embedded software, editor, assembler, cross-assembler, integrated development environment specific to the controller or a processor used. What processor we are using? Based on that one, these all the components will be there. This is a small scale. Small scale means only small components will be added here. For the small examples, we are going to use this small scale embedded system. Next, we'll go for the medium scale embedded system. Here in the medium scale, what are the things will be there is, it is designed with a 16 or 32-bit microcontrollers or DSPs or reduced instruction set computers. These are the things will be added. It is going to employ the readily available single purpose processors, employ the readily available IPs. IPs means intellectual properties for the various functions, for example, for the bus interfacing, Next, real-time software functionality, the IDs, and RTOS tools for development. See, these are the components. Whatever I am reading, these all are the components. Only here we are going to create the components. For the small scale, a small units will be used. For the medium scale, a medium units will be used. Next is a sophisticated embedded system. Here we are going to use a big one because it is sophisticated. So here we are going to use cutting edge applications that need the hardware and software co-design and components integration in the final system. Enormous hardware and software complexities will be there. It may need the network distributed processor on the bus. Network connection may be required. May need a scalable processor for configurable processors or programmable logic gates or arrays will be there, constrained by the processing speed available in the hardware units. It is also going to have the IDEs, RTOS, VLSI development tools. These are all the components it is going to use. Next, certain software functions such as the encryption, deciphering algorithms, discrete cosine transformations, and inverse transformation algorithms, TCP IP protocol stacking, network driver functions implemented in the hardware to obtain additional speed by saving the time. Software implementations, some of the functions of the hardware resources in the system, development tools for these systems may not be readily available at the reasonable cost or may not be available at all. What you they have to develop those things and they have to start using that one. That is a sophisticated. We'll see how exactly they are going to be different. We'll see the examples first. In the small scale embedded system examples, automatic chocolate vending machine, it is not going to require much hardware. See, hardware in terms of the what is the important hardware? The hardware important one is the microprocessor, RAM, ROM. See, we are not going to see other the big structure or any other things. We are only concentrating on memory, that power supply, processors, interface, input output ports. These are all the things we are going to be considering. So they are small here we are going to be using. The automatic chocolate vending machine, then printer, scanner, mobile, these are all the small scale embedded systems. Medium scale embedded systems, examples we have seen that one. Banking system, ATM card, debit card, credit cards, those things. And a LAN, WAN, those things. Here in the sophisticated, the ultra high speed will have routers and mobile smartphones. Means they are going to be using the cutting edge applications will be there here. More hardware, more software will be used in the sophisticated embedded system. That is the differences here. Next is the development skill required for the embedded system. One, small scale, sorry, skills for the small scale, medium scale, and the sophisticated. What are the skills are required? See, skills are the same things will be there. Much they are not requires a much differences. Same skills are necessary. We'll see some what are the important things will be there. Full understanding of microcontroller with a basic knowledge of a computer architecture, digital electronic design, software engineering, data communication, control engineering, motors and actuators, sensors and measurements, analog electronic design, and IC design and manufacturing. These things are necessary for developing a small scale embedded system and some basic knowledge required in hardware areas including microprocessor, microcontroller, DSP, hardware units, software engineering. Same. These are some of the components. Basic knowledge should be there for this small scale. Next, in the medium scale, the basic information should be necessary for these people also. But they have to have some extra things that is C, C++, Java programming, and active programming and program modeling skills are very important. And knowledge of the following, some of the knowledge about the tasks or the threads and their scheduling by the RTOS, cooperative preemptive scheduling, inter-process communication functions, use of the shared data, programming the critical section, re-entered functions, the use of semaphores, mailbox, queues, sockets, and pipes. These are the functions are necessary for the embedded system, medium scale embedded system design. Next is the sorry, sophisticated embedded system design. Here they have to have the full skill of the hardware units and the basic knowledge of the C, C++, Java, RTOS and other programming tools. Software engineering should have basic knowledge in hardware and thorough knowledge of the C, RTOS and other programming tools. Here they have to know about how to optimize the work. They have to reduce the work and how we have to give very quick results for the users. And they have to know about the code designing and solve the high level complexity of the hardware as well as the software and integration of the hardware and software in a smarter way. These all the skills are necessary for the sophisticated embedded system designers. All of you got to know this one. Thank you. This completes the first module, introduction about the embedded